Elizabeth Roney, and the name of my business is Alig. It's fair trade and eco-friendly. I grew up in a very big family. I have 7 siblings, and I grew up on a farm. The first thing I ever made was probably a skirt in middle school. It was just kind of a hobby growing up, so it just kind of went from there. Like, I would sew for myself, and then friends would want me to make things. I interned actually with this group in Honduras and Esperanza about 3 years ago, I think. So I had already known the organization and the founders and, you know, the women that would actually be sewing the garment, so that was really nice. So I had that connection, and I just decided to try it out and see how production would go with them, and it went really well. So that's kind of how I got started working with them and in Honduras. I always like working in the developing countries just from experiences I've had working in different countries. It's kind of made me realize how much we need to empower these countries and work with them, because a lot of times stuff is produced there, but then we don't realize, you know, where it's produced or how it's being produced. So that's the main reason that I like working in developing countries, just to help people understand how their life is and kind of connect the consumer with the producer. I'm working with Global Mamas, and they're an organization that works with women entrepreneurs in Ghana and also in greater Western Africa, and they just help women with business skills, and also they market their products into the global market, and they have products themselves. So I'm just working with their organization and some other women to sew my products also. In developing countries, that a lot of times when the man makes the money, he doesn't really feed it back into the family. It's a big problem in the developing world, and so when you empower the women to be able to make a living and an income for their family, they will feed it back to their family, you know, and encourage the family's growth in that way. I start the creative process in different ways, just depending on if it is a really great piece of fabric, you know, like a print or an 80s piece of fabric or a silk or something like that, then I would tend to start it with a piece of fabric and kind of have an idea in my head from the fabric. But then other times I'll see something, you know, out of knit, or be inspired from maybe something, you know, I see in a store, or just some historical piece of clothing, and kind of go from there. My design aesthetic is always changing, and so I don't know when I actually picked up on it. I guess just as early as I started sewing, it kind of just evolved from that. I want people to know more about just the processes that go behind the clothing industry and how their clothing is made. So just education, and just becoming more aware of, you know, where the shirt in Target comes from and who makes it. I would say what allows me to experience the most joy is just working in these developing countries, and seeing just a small difference I'm having, you know, in people's lives, and also learning more about their lives. I realize that they teach me as much as I am teaching them, so just that trade-off is really valuable to me.